Hello everyone. We are in capital of Kazakhstan, Astana city, and we are honored to have the IZI LLC instructors here with us, Patricia Wien Violani Hill and Miriam Kaliz. Welcome to Astana.
Thank you.
Would you be willing to start with I-Dentity, please?
Yes.
Could you please read it in English?
Yes. I am the I. I come forth from the void into light. I am the breath that nurtures life. I am that emptiness, that hollowness beyond all consciousness, the I, the id, the all. I draw my bow of rainbows across the waters, the continuum of minds with matters. I am the incoming and outgoing of breath, the invisible, untouchable breeze, the undefinable atom of creation. I am the I.
Thank you very much. Would you please read this prayer in Hawaiian?
Yes.
Wau loka I, pua mai a mai ka po'i loko, ka malama lama. Wau no ka ha, ka mauli ola. Wau no ka poho, ke ka ele mau waho, a ione iki a pau. Ka ki, ke kino iho, na mea a pau. Ka ai au I ku'upio o nā nui mau waho, a ione kai a pau. Ka o mau a nā mana'o a me na mea a pau. Wau no ka ho, a me ka ha. E huna kamakani nahi, ka hua huna o kumunipo, o wau no ka I.
Thank you very much. It was so beautiful. And would you be willing to share why we start with the I am the I prayer?
The I am the I prayer, and we're able to share with you the I am the I prayer as a gift from the Foundation of I, is a prayer that's used to open anything, and you can use it as a cleaning tool. So it can be used to open a meeting, an interview like this one.
Oh, wonderful.
You can use it to for anything you would like to use it for. Yes.
That's wonderful. So before you came to Kazakhstan, you used that tool?
Yes.
Oh, really? Wow. So how do you find Kazakhstan?
It's a very wonderful place.
I know. It was just so, such a wonderful experience. On the first day of class, I greeted the students with aloha, and they greeted it back with me. It was so wonderful, and I could say that the aloha spirit lives in Kazakhstan.
In Kazakhstan.
It was very nice.
Yeah. Could you please tell those people who do not know what is the Hooponopono is? What is it all about, and what is it anyway? The word itself?
So Hooponopono means to make right, to rectify an error.
What kind of error?
Well, it's any error within the self. It's only within us. It's a problem-solving process by which we can take any thoughts, words, deeds, or actions and ask them to be set free and back to pure light. It's a method of saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, or repentance and forgiveness, and then the divinity transmutes those toxic energies or memories back to pure light.
And what kind of errors are you talking about when you're referring to that error?
Right, so because it's called self-identity, what that helps us remember is that it's only within ourselves. Anything that we experience is only a reflection of a memory that's within us. And because that memory is within us, we can do something about it. We have the opportunity to take 100% responsibility to rectify those errors or make amends and ask divinity to transmute them back to pure light.
Can you say that error is the problem?
Well, it's just data. It's just an error. It's just information. It's just a memory. And so those errors manifest as problems in our lives. And it's only data that we're carrying around. It's not really who we are. We are perfect creations of the divinity. So we have to remember that it's just stuff messing up the picture of how we see life. But we are perfect in divinity's eyes. And we are perfect as a creation. So if we just see this toxic energy or this error, it's like an error message on your computer. And so the Hooponopono process is like the delete function. We say, I'm sorry, please forgive me for this error. And we ask divinity to transmute it back to pure light. And the delete button is pushed, and our life is back at nothing, at zero.
So Hooponopono by itself is a delete button.
Well, in a way, Hooponopono process allows those toxic errors to be erased, eliminated, released, let go, and then we are back at zero. We're back at nothing. And when we're at nothing, we're everything. We're infinite, we're free, we're able for the divinity to inspire us for the perfect and right things. And so we go to the perfect and right places, and the perfect and right people come into our lives. And we have everything that the divinity knows that we need at that moment in time.
Patricia, would you tell us, can we apply Hooponopono to certain problems or to all problems?
I know for myself, I apply it to all problems, and that it makes me, moment by moment, I'm able to apply the process, because making me realize that nothing is out there, and everything is inside of me. And the beautiful thing about this process is an updated version of what the traditional Hawaiian Hooponopono that Mona had introduced. And it's a simple, stressless method of, the bottom line is letting go and let God. So when you do that, and you're willing to be 100% responsible and release that to divinity, who is your divine creator, source of all energy, who has created your self-identity, then there is no need to manage or cope or control.
And since we got into that, I would like to ask a question. Would you be willing to share I know that Hooponopono by itself came from Hawaii, and Mona had an updated version.
Right.
Would you be, do you know something how it was done in Hawaii traditionally?
Yeah, traditionally, the Hooponopono method was done in that a mediator or a kahuna priest would be consulted, and he would act as a mediator between the parties that had this conflict. And basically, they would sit down face to face and hash out the problem, and it would be for whatever time it would take until the problem was resolved. So we're talking about hours, it could be a weekend, but this is face to face. So in contrast to what Mona had introduced, it was very stressful and very confrontational. And it's between person to person. What Mona introduces between ourselves and the divinity, so it's going through that direct connection, because it's only about us. It's not about anybody or anything outside of us.
So in traditional way, let's demonstrate it, let's say I have a problem with someone. I'm coming to the priest and sitting in the room, and we are starting talking. That's how it was done. Yes. But it's very kind of difficult to me to say, okay, let's fix that problem, because let's say I hate that person, right?
Right, exactly. And you have to, and part of the stress comes in that many times it's very personal, but I have to share, and I have to share this personal information to another party. And then I'm having to share it in the same room with the other person that I have a conflict with. So that is very stressful. You cannot really get to the source of the problem. And so this way, the source is the divinity who created you. So divinity really knows where the problem started. So for me, it's a no-brainer, and that's why we go that route. And because many times it just creates more stress, more anxiety, and Mona was about having it easy.
What by easy? What do you mean? Do I have to go the same way to Hooponopono, or
no? It's only between yourself and the divinity. So because everything is inside of us.
So if I have a problem with someone, I don't have to go to that person to solve the problem. I just can stay at home and do the Hooponopono by
right, because each one of us was created with that spark of divinity within us. So we can go directly to the divinity.
Mm-hmm.
without anybody or anything outside of us.
Mm-hmm. Miriam, how did you come across the Hooponopono?
Well, I was living in Hawaii and in 1985, and I heard about the Hooponopono process. And I was having difficulties in my life, and nothing else seemed to be able to relieve that. So I decided I would find out about it, and I took the class, and I've been using it ever since.
Yeah.
So almost 30 years now, and it is the only method that I have found for allowing problems to be really released, let go, and let God. And my life has changed enormously. I'm much more at peace. I know that divinity has everything that is perfect and right for me. And if I take responsibility to ask for my memories to be let go, then what's right comes into my life.
What about you, Trisha?
I met Lorna in 1982 in Washington, D.C. And then I was back home in Hawaii in 1983, and that's when I learned the process from her. And like Miriam, in my life, there was a conflict, a problem with family, and it was at this point, because I was living in Washington, and there was no way of even doing it face to face. So I had contacted Lorna, and it was such a blessing to be with her that from 83, I said, Lorna, when I went back to Washington, I said, whenever you are in the Washington area, you would do me the honor to come and stay with me. So I was so blessed from the time of 1983 to 1992 is when she transitioned. So just before 1992, I had that beautiful, precious time to be with her.
You mentioned that you had issues with the family, and family was far away. Does it mean Hooponopono works if someone is far away from you too? And how is it to be with Morna?
The ones that I have were just so precious because she in 1983 she was honored as a living treasure by the state legislature of Hawaii. But she was so down to earth. I got that others to experience, up front and personal of the very human side about her. And she had such a wonderful sense of humor. But she walked the talk. What she was about doing what she was guided to do, and determined. She was fearless.
That's wonderful. That's very interesting. Is there any story you would like to share that was really impressed you by, through speaking, through communicating with her, that was really inspiring to you, that you said, okay, I really want to do this cleaning?
There were just so many instances that I saw in her that how she applied it to herself. And many times when Morna, when she was with me, she was doing work that she needed to, that required her to be in the Washington area. But she was also working on behalf of other people, because, and how I say that, consultations, and this is because many times these individuals came to Morna because she was their last resort.
Oh, so they've tried many things.
Many things. And she did, And if she was guided to do this, she helped them.
She helped them through the cleaning.
Right.
Okay.
And always worked on herself.
And she was doing the cleaning the way you teach it in the class, right?
Yes.
That's interesting. And if someone who haven't been at the seminar, at the IZI LLC seminar, ask you, okay, I want to do the cleaning, what would you say? Where to start?
Well, they can start with the tools that are offered by the foundation, first of all. Even if they haven't been to a training, they can begin to use the tools the I am the I prayer, and the piece of I prayer, which we can do at the end of the interview today.
Okay.
And they can find that information at the website www.hooponopono.org. That's the foundation of I Inc. Freedom of the Cosmos website. And that is the location now of the information about the foundation, which Morna established.
Okay, so she established that foundation of life for
the place where her updated version would be available as a process that people could learn. So the foundation was actually in Hawaii, and now the IZI LLC sponsors self-identity through Hooponopono classes, and that's called SIF, and their website is self-identity through Hooponopono.org. So people who are interested in taking the training can go to the website, and they can look at the various things that are on there. They'll see the authorized instructors. They'll see the authorized coordinators.
So they have the list of the people that you can refer to?
Yes. And they'll see each year it's posted where the classes for that year are going to be held. And all of those classes and all of those coordinators and all of those instructors have been approved by the divinity. And so they know that all of those people and locations are authorized, and also that we've been cleaning the staff who are going to be involved are cleaning with those places all the time.
You know, I've heard that the moment you register for the class, the cleaning begins.
That's right.
Talk about that more. How is that process going, in terms of the cleaning?
Once a student has registered and completed the registration process, then on a daily basis until the class is completed, and for all the students that have registered, Dr. Hugh Lin and designated others clean on the list of students.
As well as the instructors, coordinators, staff, everyone.
Yes.
And we also clean with the location, because it's very important that we have the location.
Okay. And you can clean actually with the, let's say we decided to do, the divinity was approved the Astana for the seminar, so you cleaned with the Astana itself, right?
Yes. And the hotel, and the staff, and the room, and all the students who are coming.
Could you clean with the chairs too?
Absolutely, yes.
So in Hooponopono you can really clean with animate and inanimate objects, right?
That's right, because they all have the inner family. They all have the core aspects of self, the divine creator, what Hawaiians call the Amakua, Uhane, and Unihipili, or in English, the superconscious, the conscious, and the subconscious mind, or the father, mother, and child aspects of self. So those are all in harmony, in at one with the divinity, and each atom and molecule of creation has that within it. That whether it's a chair or a room or a person or a pet or a plant, each creation of divinity has that within it.
So you mentioned about the atom and molecules. This is tiny structure.
Yeah.
And molecules have their own identity.
Yes. Even countries have their own identity.
Even countries.
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting.
So those cities, let's just come in, because the Hawaiians had this, what Mariana had mentioned, the selves, the three selves, as a triune of the mind plus connected to the divinity. And this self-identity existed in everything. So they honored and recognized this. And so you know, when we mentioned the list of all the animate and inanimate persons, we're also talking with the sky and raindrops, and we also talk with even a thought and an experience. So we can clean with that.
Even thoughts have the
emotions.
and emotions. They have an identity. So you can clean with that.
So if you say in Hawaii they recognize each and everything as a live being, right? So I think that Morna was influenced, since she was born there, Morna was influenced by that, right? Since she grew up in this, so she knew that everything is alive. I know that Morna was talking to inanimate objects or with everything. Can we do that too? Can we talk?
Yes. Morna was a kahuna mapa'au, a healing doctor.
What is mapa'au?
Mapa'au is a specialty within the kahuna. And Morna's specialty was lomi lomi, which is the massage, and lapa'au specifically for herbs. So that was her specialty, but then that kind of melded, it became the Hooponopono process, right? And so, how do I say it? So with the Hooponopono process, we can do the cleaning, or basically what we're doing is that we're just petitioning divinity.
And Morna would be the first person to say that you are your own kahuna. Morna did not want anyone to put her on a pedestal. She was so gracious to bring us this updated process. But anyone can use this process. And because we're all beings that have all our memories within us, we don't need to go, and she would say, you don't need to go outside your nose or your toes, because it's all within you, or it's all within me. So because it's all within me, I can be 100% responsible. I don't have to say, I need somebody to help fix me, because I can petition the divinity within me to fix me.
You were mentioning about that everything is inside us, but it's very difficult concept to accept this, right? That everything is inside you. Does it come with the cleaning, the understanding, or the different level of understanding that? You know, that everything is in you. I mean, it's easy for me to say, even though let's say I'm a beginner in the Hooponopono, and I'm cleaning, and still I can say that, okay, it's his problem.
You know, this is something that it's an opportunity when you say, oh, that's only something in me. Because that other person who I think is the problem, that person is perfect. And I'm perfect. But it's the data or the memory that is causing me to see them as imperfect. And so once I say I want to be responsible for taking that memory and asking and saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, or repentance and forgiveness, and then asking divinity to transmute that back, then divinity will do that in the perfect and right time for me, and I will see that other person as perfect.
So the change begins with me.
It begins with me because I will see through the eyes of divinity, and that then I will see through the eyes of love, and that person I will see differently because that memory in me is gone. And when we do the cleaning, the memories don't just come off of us, they come off of every atom and molecule they're connected to. So it will come off of them too.
Oh, okay. So
everybody benefits.
Well, it means that I don't really have to run to anybody, right?
That's right.
You do Hooponopono by yourself, within you, and change.
You change yourself.
change happens in you and change happens in the whole universe.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah, and since the beginning, man has asked, who am I and what is my purpose?
Mm-hmm.
And when I first met Moni, those are the very questions I asked her. And you know what she told me? The only thing divinity wants you to know is who you are. And the beautiful thing about self-identity through Hooponopono, moment by moment, you do the process, you do the cleaning, and very gently, because it's a stressless, gentle method, you get to know who you are and spend time with yourself, and that's such a beautiful thing.
So we can do that as simply as saying, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cleaning tool we've been given, or thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Or we can eat a blueberry or a strawberry, or we can say the I prayer or the peace of I prayer. And those are things that people can do before they take the classes, but we would very much encourage people to take the classes.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, those authorized classes, like I said before, are listed on the Self-Identity through Hooponopono website, the IZI website.
Mm-hmm. And I've heard that some people can take it in absentee, right?
Right.
And so the first time, I think it's better to go into the class.
Right. The absentee is for review students.
For review.
Yes, so you must take the class in person the
Mhm.
first time, and you're welcome to take the class in person after that as a review student,
Mhm.
but you may also take the class in absentia
Mhm.
as a review student, and you still get everything that the people actually there are doing.
Mhm. So once you register as an absentee, you can register actually in any city or country that IZI website has
Yes.
on the schedule.
Yes.
Okay, let's say I live in Kazakhstan and I can register in Hawaii.
Right. You get with the people when the class are getting to.
The same
You
exact.
get the benefits of the cleaning. You get the benefits of people cleaning before you get to the class and during the class. And so if you're inspired to do that, you're very welcome to sign up as a review student in absentee.
But it's still, every time I want to register, I have to go to IZI website and look at the schedule and register from there.
So each coordinator has been listed on the schedule.
Mhm.
And on the website, you can, if you're interested in a particular class, it gives you the information on how to find where the registration form is for that particular class. And that usually leads the person to the coordinator for those classes.
And it's all approved.
And it's all approved and authorized, yes.
Okay.
And it's divinity is approving those classes, so it's not just listed by like a subscription or something like that. It's because those have all been approved before they go on the website, and that's where you would find the authorized classes.
And so once the class has been approved, even the information that is to be posted on the website has to be approved as well. So for the Washington, D.C. area, I'm the coordinator there, right? You will find the flyers of the 2 classes that are being held this year that have been approved. And you can just, click onto those flyers, and there's a registration form attached to that, and then just get that information.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for mentioning that, because some people who are weak on using the internet, they don't really know where to go and where to find this.
So it's either by email or even through the mail is fine, but it's whatever class you're interested in, you contact the coordinator of that in
Of that area.
So for example, the class for Russia, and the classes that was in Kazakhstan, that coordinator is you, and we would go, if I wanted to sign up for your class, I would go to Hooponopono-SNG.
And everything is in local language.
Yes.
Okay, so it
So
makes
it easier.
Yeah, so the Hooponopono is the global thing now.
Yes, classes have been given all over the world. Over the years, sometimes the new locations come up, and places where it has been given are not necessarily given every single year, because each year the different classes are approved for that year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and everything comes through divinity, right? Everything checked.
Right. So it's checked through the authorities are Mary Perla, who's the master coordinator, and Ihal Yakala, and Kamali Laulidi Rafaelovich, and Hooponopono. And so those are the people in the foundation who clean and divinity. So they're all checking through a proposal system that the coordinator asks if they can have class. You know, it's just I'm not a coordinator, so you guys should talk about
The
that.
best way I could describe it is that when Morna was alive and she was setting the foundation for the classes in the early 80s, these individuals were there to continue, were there as a supportive in the administrative and spiritual side of her work. And after she transitioned in 1992, they continued to do that with this self-identity, if you will.
And I read a lot of articles that are on IZI website, and a lot of people are saying about that the Hooponopono really changed their lives. The updated version of the Hooponopono that created by Morna really changed their lives, or they could solve some kind of problems that or issues they had with their health. Can you fix the problem in the financials, for example?
Well, Hooponopono can be applied to anything.
To
Anything.
Okay.
I can apply it to if I stub my toe. I can apply it to my bank account. I can use it if I have a business, because the business has an identity. So I can work with the business.
Even business has
Business has an identity. So anything, there is nothing that cannot be put into the cleaning. And we call it the cleaning when we do the 12-step process, or if we just use the cleaning tool, I love you, or thank you, or blueberry, or strawberry. Those are all cleaning processes. And of course, the Hooponopono self-identity through Hooponopono materials are all copyrighted. Yeah, so that's the copyright is owned by the Foundation of Honor.
And who wrote those materials?
All of it came through Morna from Divinity.
From Divinity. Yeah, that's wonderful to have this in your hands, right? What Divinity just said, it's in those materials, and it actually works.
Well, I think so. It's worked for me.
Yeah. Could you please share your own experience with the Hooponopono, let's say solving a problem, or and it was a big thing for you?
Well, the thing about it is that taking 100% responsibility, and then really the key for me was letting go and let God. And then you do that without any expectations. And then I applied it to various areas in my life, and I could see where I can work on my expectations, because I can say, you're not really letting go if you say, okay, we do the whole Hooponopono process, which is really petitioning the divinity. We're not actually controlling, and so we cannot say, I'm doing this petition, but then can I have it at this certain time with this result? Because that's not how it works. And then I would catch myself, and I say, I haven't really let go yet. And when I would step back and say, that's what, I continue to do the cleaning. And then I can see when I actually let go, that's when actually things happen that I tell myself in retrospect, why didn't I do it earlier? Because the result at that time is much better than I had expected. And then it's again reminding me, because the divinity is the best of planners.
So you say if you have expectations, it's a memory too.
Look, when you do that, for my own personal experience, I'm limiting myself. But when I let go and truly let God to divinity, like the divinity said, the self has is limitless. So if I say I'm going to do the process, but I'm not really letting go, let God, I'm limiting myself. I'm not merging. When I get to the point where I merge with divinity by doing the cleaning, I see and I hear and I speak as a divinity. I'm limitless. So that's how it's helped me. And so I've been working and cleaning on this problem, or what I perceive a problem in me. And then I would say, 10 years go by, 20 years go by, and it's like, and then it seems like it's solved, or the cleaning had taken it to this level, and I would say, wow, I mean, it only by divine plan that this had evolved, and I would not have been able to even plan anything like this. So there's some very profound.
So you basically do the cleaning, you don't do any physical activities in order to achieve that?
Well, the cleaning, and I do it moment by moment, divinely, I get divinely inspired to move, do the physical, but it all happens in the spiritual first. Right, but I have to be at a point where I'm purity of thought, and that's the only way the divinity I can receive the direction from divinity. And when I receive the direction from divinity, then I don't have to control and manage, because I can see from experience I've been trying to control and manage myself, and it hasn't worked. But when I do it with divinity, I say, hey, like I said earlier, it's a no-brainer. You created me, so you know what is my purpose. You know where my talents are. And I've only been holding myself back. If I release all of that, make amends, like you had said, and say, I'm sorry, I made the choice to create or accumulate and accept stuff that blocked me from you, from the divinity. But my cleaning allows me to do it, so then that connection is, I reconnect to that.
So we always want to come back to zero, to nothing. So the memories in us, when we get stuck by memory, you can probably do this better with when you edit.
What's the name of the...
So these are, this is an illustration of what it looks like when you're in memory.
So that's the memory, that's what you're saying?
Yes.
The memory.
And what happens is that when you're in memory, you're disconnected from the divinity and you get stuck. And when you get stuck, everybody gets stuck. So, and this is the inspiration, but because you're not at zero, you're blocked from getting divine inspiration. So nothing can get through, right? So then it's the mother's responsibility to initiate the cleaning, and the child in us holds all the memories. So the mother will be asking the child to please dredge up the memories or the toxic energies and allow them to be sent up to the father, who refines a petition, and then the father sends them up to the divinity to transmute. So the mother and the child, here's the mother. The mother takes the hand of the child, or asks the child to help by sending up the toxic energies, and the mother and the child go together, but the child hands the toxic energies up to the father. The father sends them up to the divinity. And then divinity transmutes, and only divinity can do this.
So we just letting go, basically.
That's letting go. And divinity transmutes, and the divine energy comes down first spiritually through the father aspect, then into the mother aspect, or the intellect, or the conscious mind, and then into the subconscious, where the memory is set free. It's unhooked from the mother. It's because the memories grab the intellect and grab the conscious mind. But here, when the mana comes down, it's releasing that memory. And then the memory is getting neutralized. And then it's at zero. And so once the whole self is at zero, it's in a void. It's empty. It's limitless. It's everything and nothing, and it's available, and also it's also reunited with divinity and the Father aspect of self. And as soon as I can turn the page, and then divinity can inspire us. So the inspiration comes down, and the inspiration can come through the zeros, can come through the emptiness, and we get inspired to be in the perfect and right place, as Patricia said.
Because when you are in memory, stuck in memory, you cannot be inspired. So you need to do the cleaning, initiate the cleaning, and get to zero.
So basically, if you are either in a memory or an inspiration.
Or at zero.
Or at zero.
You can be in three places.
Okay.
In memory, which is where we are 99.99% of the time.
Wow.
Even if you've been doing it 30 years, I'm still in memory most of the time.
Yeah, by the way,
Yeah.
how long have you been doing this?
Well, since 1985, almost, but not quite 30 years.
Yeah, what about you?
83.
Yes.
Since 83, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but you know, every day that goes by, I hope I do the cleaning more and more. That doesn't mean that I don't get caught in memory ever, because we can't help it.
Patricia earlier shared with us her experience, her story about the applying the Hooponopono. Could you please share yours?
Well, I had a difficult situation at work where I had a boss I really didn't like, and I applied the process little by little. I saw that person with a different, I saw them more with the eyes of divinity. As I cleaned over months and months, it changed who I was, and it cut the ties and the memories, and I saw that person more clearly as divinity made them. And I didn't really have any expectation, and for a long time I didn't want to take the responsibility to see that it was only me.
Because I think it's hard.
It's hard. Yeah, and so I had to work on all kinds of things that were not just, so for me, I don't just work on, I want to clean on my hate of that person, or what I have to work on is everything it's connected to, whether I know it consciously or subconsciously. And I have no idea what all those connections are. But divinity does. Divinity knows my memories. So little by little, what I was aware of and what I wasn't aware of would come up a little bit, and I put that in, and anything else would go into the cleaning, and little by little that person looked totally different to me. And I also had to work on my expectations of what I thought it should look like, or who I thought they should be, or what I thought they should be doing. And so those went into the cleaning too. And all of a sudden I realized that if I was at a meeting, I didn't have to sit at the other end of the big conference table. I could sit next to this person, and those memories weren't there anymore that made it so difficult. And I kept cleaning, I kept doing the cleaning and doing the cleaning, and that person left the place where I work. But that person went to the perfect and right place for them, and I was in the perfect and right place for me. I had no idea that was what was going to happen.
So he left stress-free too.
Well, I have no idea about that, but I know that if I hadn't been doing the cleaning, I just have the sense that that was my opportunity.
Well, good for you. You took 100% responsibility for that. Yeah, and I think it's very hard to do, right?
Well, But you know, it's our opportunity. And the way I look at it is when you take 100% responsibility for something in your life, it empowers you in a sense. It's not like, you know, I'm big and strong, but it puts you in the driver's seat. You know, you're not the backseat driver anymore. You know, you're not going, don't turn there, don't turn there. You're going, I can do this. I can take responsibility.
I see.
Yeah? And to me, that is the most wonderful place to be. Because you're not a victim. You're not blaming anybody. You're not feeling guilty. Because it's not about that. It's just about data that we've held since the beginning of time. And it's our opportunity to let it go and make amends.
And it's not about good or bad, it's just an error. You just recognize an error in a memory. And so the wonderful, beautiful thing for me is I embrace my memories. And so it comes to something had come up recently and I said, thank you for that. And it's like blessings are never in disguise. You know, because we may have a perception that, oh, this is like something bad happened, but it's a blessing in disguise. And then Hooponopono helped me realize that blessings are never in disguise. All of these memories, all these errors, all of these opportunities to clean our blessings.
So Hooponopono really means to correct, to make right.
I know you both are cat lovers, but let's say someone comes to you and say, okay, I have a problem with them. Let's say cat is behaving nasty. So how would you start cleaning with this?
Well, again, it's only in me.
So it's not the cat.
So it's not the cat. The cat's perfect. So I remember a cat that I used to have. He would I would go out on my screened-in porch with the cat, and the cat would try to scratch through the screen. And for a while I was like, no, don't do that, right? And then I was like, wow, you know, it's not the cat.
It's me scratching.
It's in me, whatever it is in me. I'm not sure what it is, but what did I need to do? Well, for me, I said, oh, I need to take care of myself better. Because it all comes back, I mean, the most precious relationship we have is with the mother and the child, our Uhani and our Unipili. And so I was angry at the cat for misbehaving, but I wasn't being loving to the cat, right? So I said, well, I bet I need to be more loving to myself. So every time the cat would go for the screen, I would remember, take care of my Unipili. I love you, Unipili. Thank you, Unipili. Thank you for being a part of my inner family. Thank you for helping me by dredging up the toxic memories and energies. And if I did that, the cat stopped scratching the screen.
Any stories from you?
Oh, this one was just recently too. As I was getting ready for the class, and again, it's anyhow we're talking about the care of the child, and I've been so blessed over the years to make sure I have my child is taken care of. But then I recently, going on 4 years now, I had these 2 rescues that come. And I basically dote on them and take care of them and love them. And I have my cell phone, I'm looking at all their little videos and pictures. And then I heard my Unipili say, do you love me? And I say, of course I love you. And Unipili says, as much as Snowy and Trixie. So basically I have 3 children I have to take care of. But it's okay because I have my inner family, my child, and then I have the 2.
But I find that so much of what I perceive that's going on outside of me that I need to work on really is a reflection that I need to take better care of my inner child. And when I take care of my inner child, everything else falls into place. So if I'm feeling like I'm in a situation where I'm left out, it's my child who's feeling left out.
Uh-huh.
If I feel like I'm in a situation where I'm afraid, it's my child and the memory coming up of fear. So I look inside and I say, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be leaving you out. May I, hold your hand, let's be together. Or I might say, I'm sorry, are you afraid? Let's work on fear and let that go.
So it's all
comes back to inside.
Okay.
Again, Morna, thank you, but there's nothing outside our nose or our toes. It's all within us.
And you have to constantly remind this.
It's moment by moment. It's for always and forever. It's every day and every moment. So every moment that I remember to come back to self, it's all within self. And take care of self. And say, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Please let's let go and let God. Then I'm back in balance. I'm doing the cleaning. I'm saying, I love you, thank you, to the divinity and the inner family within me. And then that brings me back to balance, and everything else that I see out there is in balance.
Some people said, okay, we know that Hooponopono was the updated version that created by Morna. Is there any place in the world that you can go, maybe just like a museum or something like that, just to visit, to see how, to get a feeling how Morna was?
It's like what Miliama had said earlier. Morna, I know she had told me when she would come to this, she said, I never want to be a guru. I don't want a following. I developed this and shared this Hooponopono process, self-identity, Hooponopono, so you can do for yourself.
So it was about teaching, not her.
She said, you be your own kahuna.
Kahuna.
Yeah.
And could you please repeat what kahuna means?
Kahuna is priest or specialty in Hawaiian culture. So kahuna, it's a specialty in a specific area. So if it was the healing arts, which was her, she was the kahuna, and within that area you had specialties in the healing arts, or what we call medical doctor. But there was a kahuna who was an astronomer, but that kahuna's specialty was reading the stars, or an oceanographer. So that is kahuna. So those are the in the priestly realm.
But she didn't want to have anybody put her on a pedestal.
Okay.
So she wanted everyone to know that it was only within self. So she was here to share with us the updated version of self-identity through Hooponopono.
And all we need to do is to use
Just
it.
to do it.
To do it.
I love you, thank you, thank you. All we need to do is do it.
Well, thank you very much for sharing all the stories and all the information, for this wonderful conversation and tools that have been given. And it was, I think, very interesting and useful. And is there anything you would like to say to the people in the former Soviet Union area?
Thank you, I love you.
Thank you very much. And could you please read the piece of I pray in English?
The peace of I. Peace be with you, all my peace. The peace that is I, the peace that is I am. The peace for always, now and forever and evermore. My peace I give to you, my peace I leave with you. Not the world's peace, but only my peace, the peace of I.
Hawaiian.
O kamaluhia no mea oi, ku'umaluhia a pauloa, kamaluhia o ka'i, wal no kamaluhia mo noa a pauloa aku. Ha'awi aku wau I ku'umaluhia oi, wahu wau I ku'umalu mea oi, a ole kamaluhia o ke au a ka'umaluhia vale no, kamaluhia o ka'i.
Thank you very much, and we hope to see you over again in former Soviet Union, in in all the seminars.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.